No one intervened.
Hello, listeners of Jacqui Just Chatters. This is your hostess, Jacqui Lentz. This is my ongoing bonus mini-cast murder mystery serial. Each week brings a fresh letter in this cozy tale of murder. If you have not listened before, you are going to want to find letter number 1 and begin there. I hope you enjoy. To silence a scandalmonger, murder in an English village. Welcome to another installment of this audio drama. Play along as you step into the role of one Gwen Armstrong, who is living in 1951 Oxford, England, and is in the final months of earning her bachelor's degree in history from St. Hugh's. Your post is full of regular letters from your Aunt Ivy and other occupants of the charming village of Upper Stock Green. On the surface, it seems a serene picture of stone cottages, beautiful green countrysides, and charitable neighbors. But underneath, in the darkness, a sinful world hides, and the shadow beats the heart of a murderer. By the time the last letter arrives, can you identify the killer? Previously on To Silence a Scandalmonger, we learned that Gwen, while home for the Christmas holiday, was enjoying spending time in the company of 2 gentlemen, one Constable Freddie Allen, and the other local solicitor Lucas Davies. We got the impression from Aunt Ivy that Gwen doesn't come home to visit from Oxford as often as her aunt would prefer. Ivy does seem a little lonely since the death of her husband Herbert and son Daniel. However, thankfully, she is not alone. Her intrepid housekeeper, Mrs. Owens, is on hand to give her comfort and share her opinions on women Ivy's age listening to the swinging sound of Glenn Miller. I'm with Ivy on this one. Glenn Miller is smashing good music. Let's join this week's adventure, shall we? A letter to Gwen from Aunt Ivy.
20th of January, 1951. Rabbit Hill Cottage, Upper Stock Green, England. Dear Gwenny, hello, my girl. I just finished your latest letter. A woman professor. Will wonders never cease? Does she wear dresses or trousers like a man? I don't suppose she's married. I hope this isn't giving you fanciful ideas. You are finishing your degree this spring. I was just remarking to Mr. and Mrs. Bailey, who run the post, that you were nearly done. Sharing, you would be the first female in the Armstrong family to have a degree. I also expect you to finish with honours. You'd better do well on your exams, dear. You don't want to make your aunt a liar. They said to me, Oh, Mrs. Stevens, many girls nowadays have advanced schooling, implying your efforts were not a big accomplishment. Tosh, as if I don't know the real reason that their daughter Iris, who was 16 at the time, mind you, left secondary school before the end of term was over last year. In fact, she never completed her education, even when she returned home. The official word was poor health, and that she was going to a sanatorium up north to recover. There was nothing wrong with her health except the usual problems that come from running around with too many fellows. She was a loose girl. When she finally came home, she looked more tired and worse than when she left. I know she was in the family way. Mark my words. I have yet to figure out who the father was, but I am keeping my eyes open. I am sure he will reveal himself. I had to set my pen down for a moment. Mrs. Owens has just come in. What news? Now I know I am not one to condone the spreading of gossip. I do think Mrs. Owen is a bit prone to the habit, but I think that's part of her Welsh heritage. However, this is not merely tittle-tattle. Mrs. Owens saw this with her own eyes. She was going to the back door of the Quivering Leaf pub for some sausages. I know you don't approve of these creative solutions we villagers have come up with to deal with the rationing, But one does need sausages on a regular basis for a proper breakfast. Mr. Gibson, who runs the pub, has been doing a swift business in procuring and selling items that many of us require, which we cannot get in a traditional manner. I admire his industry, and I'm happy I can treat myself from time to time. You ate every meal placed in front of you last month at my table. I won't take any finger-wagging from you. I remember you sneaking extra biscuits from my jar when you were little, and I never told your father. So I expect you to keep silent on this matter as well. Back to my point. It seems that Mrs. Owens, from her vantage point at the back of the shops, saw the vicar, you remember, Reverend Fernsby, and Miss Ada Berrycloth, the lady who runs the tea shop, holding hands and staring into each other's eyes. Apparently looking something out of the movies, it seems. Mrs. Owens swears it definitely did not look like it was a case of a vicar giving counsel, but more of a paramour situation. I would imagine this would be a great surprise to Mrs. Fernsby if she found out about it. It seems she is in Hampshire visiting her sister for the week. Given that they were observed before shops have opened, I speculate that the good Reverend was leaving Miss Berrycloth's apartment after spending the night. She lives alone, just above the tea shop. I shall, with great anticipation, look forward to hearing what the theme of Sunday's sermon will be this week. Would he dare do one about fidelity or chastity? I won't be responsible for laughing out loud if he does. Speaking of church, last week after services, both our intrepid Constable Freddie Allen and that dashing Lucas Davis were asking after you. Any message you would like me to pass on to either of them? Make sure you are eating enough to keep up your strength. Love, Aunt Ivy.
Come back in a week for Gwen's next letter as we work closer to solving who silenced the Scandalmonger. Have any suspects, speculations, or insights? Head over to my Facebook author page and share your theories. You can find the link in the description. This podcast was written by Jacqui Lentz, narrated by Jacqui Lentz, and Ivy voiced by Diane Fox Hill.